Thomas Maldonado is a Mexican-American creative non-fiction writer and poet who teaches English. It's quite specific here for academic purposes. And in his composition, he blends creative and non-fiction. Thomas writes personal essays that are interviews and reviews for Erato magazine. He has his creative non-fiction, poetry, and social studies, the brand name essays, and literature. The corresponding the first we're going to do is to have a reading of his works. I have with me poems, there are about 4 poems, and we shall go right to that first, and then discussion. Yes, so who would like to read? Thank you. Yeah, as you prepare to read, I give us have lots of lines there to about 5 people. Please, can I have the paper now? Feel good.
Still feeling. I have beat the side of my mouth twice by the time the car is half full to come and go. A few sips of water and the aftertaste of irony is gone. The stench of anxiety dripping down my backside didn't bother me as much as the buzz of the bee. But wasn't everything said just right? The Omogezi says I am from Massachusetts. I live in Minnesota. He says something in Uganda. Everyone laughs. Later, you tell me that he said I came thousands of miles away from you, not knowing if they would eat me. The family names me Lubega. You and your green dress.
Okay. Kajam home, Wakaliga and Makamba Road at the intersection. Sorry. At the intersection, border drivers whisked past. My eyes burnt bright red. The Lumuja police station fits comfortably nearby. 7:30, sunset breaks. An officer wearing a rusty AK-47 blows a silver whistle. I like how the moon contrasts against it. Back-to-back 4-door seated, sandwiched between tuk-tuks, taxis, and travel buses. That one left, that one right. Police lights flash every which way. Kadisi Ka Ndagara.
You have to sing it.
No, I'm also not good with the Uganda, so.
You can give us the light.
Please, I will also skip that.
Trying to sing, you won't laugh.
No way. But it's in English. I'm sure they will.
We'll try not to laugh.
So, David Vitalo is coming out of what? He's coming out of that white Paso roaring by. A man in a clean red t-shirt sells Wakali wood DVDs. Friday night feels better when the lady selling maize has a sigiri, amber hot with enough breast milk to drown out her horns or motorcycle beeps. I prefer the smell of burning rubbish. I try to take a breath. I smell its concrete rain surrounding me. My lungs hurt. Flocks of birds listen above. String bean whiteness shaped like locusts versus steel. Watching them compete with the sun is paradise. But isn't that how it's supposed to be? Enamagoye stands in front of the cement block I'm sitting on. He's wearing sunglasses holding on to a bushel of matooke right enough to boil for 3 nights. Can man live off hunger alone, or is there more to life than this? His question is sincere. I just want to know. I just want to know. I just want to know how to answer it. But my Luganda is. I don't know this one. Is it macerated?
Macerated.
But my Luganda is macerated. I swallow it in chunks. I think he knows that. Enough to move on and like the topic.
Thank you very much. This whether it is okay to hear one thing by our listeners. This one is Ekiboto or Muzigo I movie roll. Can you read the long one? This one? Okay. That one's the longest. Can you read that one? Yeah. As a catching gas. This one is called the Clockwork Man. Bear with me. I heard someone say Kampala was originally called Atasozi Kampala, the hills of the Kampala, before a Muzungu man with a stutter skipped the first word and shook the last syllable. Mexicans love impalas, the kinds with white walls and spoked rims, but this country has neither. Its soaked red dirt feels like clay in between my wet toes. A baby cries in the distance. Do you smell the fresh breeze of the banana leaves wrapped in her mother's arms? The road from Bogor to Kampala stretches 9 hours and 9 minutes. It's the eyes of the sleepy-eyed mendicants begging for midday coins and the heart of Ambulabie that always gets to me. There's one in the traditional floral-colored clothing of Sudan, speaking a Juba I wish I could taste. Ism Takimunu, Ism Takimunu. She repeats her question until we turn away, her forehead alive, tucked under the orange golden round sunset, bringing a mercurial temperament lost on their endless faces. The Boda Boda seems to stretch all the way back to Hoima Road, even with the engines pitter-pattering greasy oil, large enough for stray dogs mistaken for dirty water. Their barks are loud, but their prayers are louder. Farther in heaven, unlike their Father in heaven, released in time with each staggering breath. Anta minwen muzungu! Anta minwen! I want to answer her, to hug her childish body as if she were the long-lost daughter I never knew. But I can't. Her finifluidness captivates me beyond belief I lost years ago. She smiles when I hand her 500 shiny silver shillings. Her symptoms delight and jealousy. Why do the streets feel so hollow and empty, even when the stoplights are filled from here to Macarena? But everyone would rather win than wait. Their smell resembles summertime filled with wet pavement covered in spoiled garbage. The urban foilings in kludgy clothes. If you listen closely, you can hear the screams of the Buganda Iti left frozen in the concrete slabs of Lubiri Mengo. Electric shocks, asphyxia, starvation. After the melancholy, we drive past the location where they filmed the Mississippi Masala. I noticed the shadows asking the ivory moon, hunted by silky black ravens, to erase the last memories of daylight. It cast itself upon the crowds, almost as if to claim the innocence of ignorance for itself. There's a story claiming that picture of Museveni still hangs in the same basket market Jake passed when he encountered the crowds. That beautiful woman in braids, dancing around, moving backwards and forwards. The happiness of her movements carefree as African band played Mundeke loudly in the background. No one cared about the uprisings or the surging price of charcoal. I think how that could have been my mother-in-law as a teenager. I'm 5 years older than her. Her Luganda is soothing and slowly paced. It leaves a tingle behind my right ear. Out there, someone is boiling a chole, a dash of riampore, and a few tablespoons of lusonga. The smell is pleasant, almost piney with a hint of lango, but the Kiswahili tastes crunchy. Across the street, they take orders at Haji and Haji. Uyagala kuya chisepo. The waitresses' hijabs are tight, but their skirts are tiny. We order enough food for me to write a poem about. Outside, there's a North Ugandan restaurant. I read the sign scribbled in a paintbrush, probably half eaten by rats smart enough to know better. Malagwan, war, death in the war. It will probably be another day when we're tired of dried tomatoes and omokeme, or when Ensene is back in season before we bless the rains during summer monsoons, too big for us to cry about. A pop around the corner sends me into a brief panic. For a moment, I enjoy the colors of the health center. It's painted so bright white, you could land planes by it. I thought Ed Waliro was the name of the doctor who owned it. Ed Waliro. It's the Luganda word for clinic. I feel like a meatless bone in the hand of a hungry leper during Ramadan. Sometimes when I stand outside, the wind blows more to a yes than to a no. A young lady comes out, her hair looking dry. The Buganda say to each other, Inbidi zozitulaga umwami wachakola. Your hair tells us what your man does. We stop at a central market to buy uyembe. Umuyembe, it's yellowish green dyed pink at the tip. It looks small and smells sweet. Inside it's ripe but sour. Sometimes life can be the same.
All right. Finally, Winnie. Please reverse this. Let's go. Report.
Hi everyone. Echiroto on Musigo and Movie Road. Movie Road. A tall man walks past you sweating the charcoal, bag on his back feeling heavy. Lush green made of thin plastic threads and itchy covering his entire body. You notice what's between his sandals, ashy feet, calloused enough to walk barefoot. If it weren't for the rain, gods of his ancestors. You see a book in his eyes telling whole chapters divided in sections of dreams, too long for you to finish. He knows hunger, but is thankful for strong legs. He drifts here and there, longing for another sunset to lay upon his head. There is a funny way the wind strokes the palm leaves back and forth. Its breeze smells of hot cooking oil and burnt chapati. Maybe if his mother dies the day after tomorrow, he has enough for transport to the funeral. There are people in their villages, but foreigners in their cities. A piece of charcoal falls. You want to turn back, pick it up, give it to him. But you know, if you do, he will tell you it's not his, like most of his problems.
Was nice. And that's the end of the reading. So, it's what?
Yeah,
What was the first?
The first poem was Chala in the village of Kamengo. Then there was Kajam on Wakaliga in Makamba Road. Then we had Kajam on Wakaliga in Makamba Road. Then we had Ichibu.
They were being introduced, among other things, of essayists, white poems. What you write are factual things. Yes?
Request that as you ask, you would like to hear what you're asking. The conversation is between you, but also.
You don't hear me? Sorry.
You're competing
Okay.
with the cars.
And even with my own voice, I think. All right. Thank you for saying that. I'll do my best. Yeah. One thing is you write factual things in most cases when it comes to your essays. So for me, I think
The very last statement to do with lexical teachers, something interesting that comes to my mind are the mothers. They seem to have a certain space that's not necessarily designated for a teacher in a formal sense, but there are these lessons they are constantly teaching or passing down, more or less, to I think their children. And these are, I want to even call them life lessons, which I think is quite interesting. I don't want to say it's universal for all mothers in a sense, but there's also something unique in the sense of the portrayal we see, even in that Bellas they're talking about. I know there's a certain representation of mothers in that sense. So when one thinks of a Mexican teacher, it is not, for me, I'm just saying, and it comes out of a certain statement you also made earlier around what your mother said was important. You need to learn that lesson. You need to learn that other language because it's going to be important. Even if she herself had not sort of learned that. And then when you see impacts in future, it sort of becomes something that even for you, it's sort of important. Just something that came to my mind when it came to mothers. And I was just trying to connect the dots, something you had said. A statement you made earlier, but also the very quote about language. That if you know the language of the when you learn the language of the people, it saves you from their efforts. And I was just kind of making that kind of connection in relation to the question around mothers and teachers. And for me, mother as such nurturers that pass down that important knowledge that's not necessarily formal, I think is very important.
Very true. I've heard that a lot of people talk about Mexican mothers. They have that element of nurture and teaching.
Yeah.
But when I heard that, didn't make sense. Now you say teacher, I understand what you mean. Mother is the teacher. From my findings, mothers have played a very, very important role in making Mexican Americans fit in America and Britain. That's one thing. They seem to be very strong mothers, and they guide the young ones on how to live. Okay, all right. So I'm going to ask you to read for us selections. I must say that you're challenging me as a friend to really go out and write poems. Not affecting us. It's not like let me see the African. This one I'm going to read
It's called The Sounds of Banana. Banange is red road bumpiness going up and down one day market, the same way your anxiety kicks in when your blood sugar is too high. Banange is the smells of skewered chicken, salty crisp, and roasted venison waiting for you and wifey to crunch, chomp, tear, savor, and swallow in ansana. Banange is buying Banange beer that doesn't taste like banana with a debit card that's only supposed to work back in America. Banange is a police officer stopping your driver because he wants lunch or a box of bullets. The torturous being torturous. Banange is 50,000 shillings to get your wife's driver's license a month early when everyone else pays only 15 for the next day. Banange is being pulled from the road by your wife right before a taxi could have hit you while crossing the road to Nakasero Market. Banange is catching malaria the night before your brother-in-law's kuchala and having to wear the ivy in your left hand for the next 3 days of treatment. Banange is your daughter being sent home from school because you didn't pay all of her school fees. Banange is watching your wife flirt with the greengrocer from Central Market so that she can get that watermelon you want for a cheaper price than if you went there alone. Banange is the cacophony of born-again speaking in tongues at 5:30 in the morning and not stopping until midnight. Banange is music blaring from loudspeakers all night because it's eating. Banange is a pregnant goat giving birth in your backyard with enough bleeding to wake ancestors. Banange is paying 60,000 Ugandan shillings for consultation when the doctor hasn't even diagnosed you yet. Banange is getting typhoid after drinking the best mango juice in all of Kampala after wifey told you not to. Banange is not knowing how to finish this poem, but writing just enough words to finish it.